Hi, Pisces. Welcome back to the revolution. There are some sirens and some kids playing and all of those things going on, which is really fitting because I've tried to do this reading twice, won't upload properly. Everything is very frenetic right now. People have been really going nuts. It's a lot of really crazy energy. Crazy. If you find that people are like triple, quadruple texting you, I had a group of like really like just not well people emailing me constantly all day yesterday. Another one was making fake anti-bullying accounts with no followers and no posts and like bullying me and people who follow the Instagram page. Just like I just spoke to someone who's getting like text upon text upon text from someone who's going off on them, and I was just like, whoa, what is with this energy? So 5 of Wands and then 3 of Swords in reverse. So I'm not saying that this is your energy. That's the funny thing, because usually I'm like, oh, I was picking up on your energy and this is what happened and let's talk about it. This is not your energy. This is what is going on, and you guys are just feeling it the most. You are right in the middle of it all, like feeling every nerve of it. And it feels terrible, awful. It hurts. You can, 2 of Pentacles. So, in the midst of all of this chaos, there will emerge a play. Pisces, along with Gemini, will do really well with this. In the Instagram post, when I was saying that I'm about to put Pisces up, I had mentioned that I find that Pisces is one of the most savage signs, one of the top 3. And a lot of people had been like, oh, you know, that's really surprising. I wouldn't necessarily put Pisces in. But you have to understand, in the part of your chart that has to do with what you care about most, which is your family, your really close friends, your core group, when it comes to those people, you behave like a Gemini. So if someone crosses the wrong lines with you, you are super savage in a way that very few people can be, which Geminis do very readily. But it's because you exhibit those qualities when it comes to what you care about most. So you can be one of the meanest signs because of that. But you're not like that when it's not stuff you care about. You're not petty like that. Like a Scorpio will be petty like that with anybody. But Pisces will only be that way if you bring that out of them. And this is the way that it comes out. The savagery is through that Gemini energy, which is that which you care about. And on a larger level, that which you care about, Moon in reverse, is what's going on with the collective, is what's going on with everyone. And because that's what you care about and that's what you're connected to, as if it were like a person you were in a relationship with, everything that's going on right now in terms of how much pain and misery and discord there is right now, it's getting to you. It's getting to you on many levels. It's getting to you in this surreal other realm. Your dreams may be reflecting this. You are also feeling this in terms of your personal relationships, even though it doesn't mean that anything is necessarily wrong. You just find yourself questioning things that you don't necessarily need to question for any reason. There's nothing going on that should make you question it, and yet there is this wondering, and it makes sense because in June you will be meeting people who will make you question what you're in already even more. So because you are so intuitive, you're already picking up on that. There's going to be a decision to be made. It's way far in the future, but these 2 cards together is about the dissatisfaction in the current thing. And then a new thing comes along and you start to really wonder about it. And then the Moon in reverse. So your card showing up in reverse. Major Arcana in reverse means not that the card is in reverse, but that we are in reverse. The road is always right side up. We are turned upside down. We are turned upside down. We are turned upside down. The 5 of Wands doesn't need to be upside down. It's already got everybody upside down, got everybody worked up. So Three of Swords and the Moon also then alluding to the obvious connection for Pisceans between the heart, the state of the heart, and the state of the being. So now, what does this do? What is going on? Now that we have a general understanding of the fact that people are really, really acting out right now, out of their fears, out of their insecurities, especially out of their paranoias. And let's talk for a second about why. So it's not just, that it's happening. It's happening because we have this Scorpio energy that is really just going to continue to bring stuff to light over and over again. This is in personal matters, this is in global matters, everywhere. And so as things are exposed and as people are exposed, as plots are exposed, as intrigue is exposed, the way that people react to it most commonly, and this is so counterintuitive, is that they go on the offensive. Instead of being defensive and saying, no, I'm not doing that, they start to attack. When people are found out, they have a tendency to want to play the victim and blame another party. So, for example, I think starting at 8 a.m. this morning, I've been getting text messages, emails, calls from clients, family members, everyone, about how someone in their life is just going in on them, either through email or text message or voicemail or messenger or Snapchat or something. It's just everywhere. Someone is aggressing upon them. That is what people do when they feel vulnerable and exposed, when they feel like they are backed into a corner, even if it's a corner of transparency that they need to be backed into because they need to be found out. The reaction is generally one of fighting back. And that in and of itself is, it's disappointing for you because you are that sign of, what's right is right. And I don't want to have to argue about that with you. What's right is right. So a decision coming up late in the month, early June. But before that, in terms of finance, just be careful. It's nothing wrong. It just seems like you're being a bit cavalier about material stuff right now, and that makes sense to me because what's going on spiritually or energetically with everyone everywhere is so heavy that you're not really that work, it's good, it's great actually. But so the moon turned around, reversed. How are we not being ourselves, Pisces? I mean, even the Three of Swords in reverse is still very much you. How are you not owning this mantle right now? I think you're so gentle-spirited that what's going on right now is really hurting you. And you're not letting the shark, the other fish, come out and express itself. I feel like to be able to express yourself and really understand something, first you have to get into it and experience it and immerse yourself in it. And what you'd be immersing yourself in right now is so chaotic and will take so much work to even articulate or get into the skin of it so you can explain it or heal it away, which is obviously what we always need from you. The card that popped out is the Four of Wands. So how are you not being true to yourself? There may be a bit of pessimism right now with you just because of everything that's going on. It's easy to forget that life can be like this too, even though I don't see anything wrong in your relationships. It's just everything else is getting to you. Your empathic nature is getting to you. It's just a lot. Everybody's energy is so crazy. I can't even begin to tell you what I've been experiencing. Literally every 5 minutes, somebody emailed me yesterday, the same person, over and over again, saying the most hateful, awful things, just over and over, repeat. And then to find out from all these other people that other people are experiencing the same level of being woof. you guys are feeling all this aggression, all this vitriol, all this, acerbic sort of speech between people right now. It's so acidic, it's so sharp, right? The sentiments between people are so sharp, and it's all kind of falling on you. And that then starts to reflect in the rest of your life. But, like I said, there's some very positive cards here. Those are both positive cards, even though one of them is about how much work it's going to be just to normalize the stuff that's going on right now. That's fine, because and that's the crux of this, is that it's all okay because you love to do it. You are one of the very few signs who have a very specific job and you love your job. A lot of signs, they are so antagonized by their purpose. They wish they were something else. They wish they didn't have to do that thing because they're not actualized enough to live through and do that thing. But you guys seem to come into the world ready. And so I feel like you really have to level up before you're allowed to come back as a Pisces. Because it just requires such a level of heart-based commitment. I think you'd have to be vibrating super, super high to even be able to come through as that, is what I'm trying to say. And right now you may have forgotten that. You may have lost your hope and faith in that, even though it's one of your core characteristics. Again, just because of how awful things are. In the zeitgeist, you can feel how people are heartbroken. It's a lot of war, a lot of awful going on. Actually, I didn't want to share this. Why am I sharing this? Okay. Actually, I was watching something on Frontline, which I'm super addicted to. I'm addicted to all PBS stuff because my dad wouldn't let me watch anything but PBS when I was growing up until we got like cable. So I was watching Frontline, and they had this 2-part fascinating documentary on, this is very hard to talk about, on Saudi and Iran, and the competition between the two, the battle that has apparently been raging for a long time. I had no idea it was quite like that. So it was fascinating. Glued, in fact, to it. And just couldn't get enough. The facts, the figures, the events, everything. It was just so much. I find news and politics and all that so much more entertaining than entertainment. But anyway, so I think it's in the beginning of the second part. You know how they always say, like, graphic content, And you're just like, yeah, I'll forward through, or we'll see it when it comes up, or I'll just look away, or I'm sure it's not that bad, is always what you're thinking. And then they showed just like, a girl on a bike in a road, and a little kid playing behind her, jumping up and down, being somewhat annoying. You could tell just from looking at him, he knew he was being annoying, just like a little kid. Another kid came running. And then, I don't know how they got the footage, or what kind of camera it was, but I didn't realize that they were showing. Well, I didn't realize what we were looking at. I didn't realize what country it was. it was Syria. And then they're showing, like, the little kid, and all of a sudden you see a very large bomb just right there, right on top of them, and you can actually see them playing, and then you can see this large dark green metal object falling, and then everything is just rubble and dust, and millisecond. I close my computer. And And then I tried, I think, for like a good 5 minutes to just push it away because my brain couldn't handle it. And then I just cried my eyes out. I mean, I've seen the bombings since I was a kid, you know, since the first Desert Storm. We've been seeing cities full of innocent people being bombed as they sleep. You get used to it if you watch it without the sound and the subtitles. It looks like fireworks. I don't know what it was. I think it was just that they were playing. And who doesn't identify with that? You guys identify with that so much. You are the ever-loving infant. And the world is just... Oh, it's lucky when the cards can talk for you. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, Pisces. You guys are feeling all of this. And what can you do? And that's where you get stuck, and that's why the moon is in reverse. What can you do? Well, you can do what only you can do. My midheaven is in Pisces, so it's my purpose in life. What you guys are is my purpose in life, which is to heal. Find the wound and heal it. So you found the wound. Here we are. We're in the wound. Welcome. Lionfish. We're in the wound. You can do it. And now that we've lived collectively together through the horror of that wound, how do we heal it? 1, we keep our hope alive. 2, we work towards what we know is a better way because we just can't stay here. Just because it's going to be long and hard to get away from doesn't mean that it's not worth the walk. So we do what Pisces does, which is, say it with me, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Let's shuffle for some outcome cards. Bottom of the deck is the Aries. So if you're dealing, Pisces, still with the Aries, I'm sorry. Because they're doing a lot of back and forth and like lying and just, Let's keep these out. We'll look at these in the extended and let's pull an outcome card, yeah? I haven't talked to anybody about that. Oh no, I talked to my friend Margaret. Yeah, I talked to a Cancer about it. I haven't talked to anybody else about it. Talk to you guys. Makes sense. It was awful. I suggest not watching it, never watching it, if you can get away with it. It'll never leave you. I'll never be able to forget it. Okay. Oh, okay. Knight of Swords, High Priestess. So, outcome cards have to do with that Gemini nature, especially when Venus goes into Gemini later in the month, coming out of you very good. We need you to be a bit aggressive and communicative now. That's the way you're going to heal, by speaking the truth, finding the wound. And then how do you heal it? By speaking the truth of it. And how do you speak the truth of it? First, you have to understand the thing. You understand the thing by being reticent, by pulling back and going into High Priestess mode. Now let's review. What is High Priestess mode? It's when we become super receptive, but also we are, what is she doing? What does she have in her hand? A scroll. We are studying the situation and digesting it from a distance, not all up in our feels to the point where we're upside down. From a distance. You see how the moon is dominating here and here it's sitting at her feet? You understand what you need to do. Pull yourself out of the, you see, that's why we did that. We talked about that thing. It came up. You know what's going on with you. You know all that's going on. It's all hurting you. It's all coming together to really hurt you. Okay, so now we know what it is. Now pull back from the situation. Actually examine it, not from a place of emotion. Examine it like a Gemini examines things. Examine it from a place of, these are my family, my friends, the people I love, and I'm talking about the whole planet now. And I don't want this sort of energy, let me show you, pervading my house, pervading my family. So I have to speak up, but I can only do so after I've examined this from a distance instead of being all up in it and just feeling it. Be smarter now. I need you to use your powers of being able to find the wound and then, say it with me, and then heal it. I need you to heal it through talking about what you learn. Look at the situations that are going on right now that really bother you. Look closely into them. Pull back from what is supposed to be and what you're supposed to think. Pull all the way back from all your connections and look at things from a pure Piscean standpoint. Then you will have a better idea of what it is that you need to say and communicate to at least feel like you are doing your part of the work in ensuring a better life, a better quality of life, a more celebratory vibe. Spring is coming up. The last thing we want to do is stay in the doldrums and the upset and the sad and the emo. Now, another way you can look at this, now we've been looking at this, in a very sort of macro way. Now let's look at it more micro. If you are going through it and you are having a lot of problems with a partner, if you think that partner is vacillating and they're trying to choose between you and another person, all of this is bringing you down. Let me put the camera down. I'll be right back, and then we'll look at these together. One sec. Hi. Okay, so now let's look at it on a more personal level, yeah? Good. And that we'll look at in the extended, and we'll clarify everything. I like this new way of doing it. It's like everybody gets an extended. I like it. It's fun. Okay, here we go. So. On a micro level, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a lot of discord. That's for one, right? Heartache, confusion, perhaps even feeling like you're being gaslit. Feeling like you really have to choose. Not being able to choose because you don't feel like yourself. Things around you making you feel less and less like yourself, but also the calamity now of having your home situation upended. Maybe it's because you were living with this person, or maybe it's just because you really want to leave, or maybe it's because the entire thing has to do with the home situation, but there is some sort of move going on. And now if this is not a physical move and this is an emotional move, this is you losing a group of people all at once, it seems like. But they were so combative and so bad for you. If you have any Scorpio placements, this is happening even more. But like I said, even in that situation, there is an upside because then you can rebuild. I like the idea of the 10 of Wands after the Tower because rebuilding is what is necessary after the Tower comes in and resets. Reset and then rebuild. And what are we rebuilding towards? Something really beautiful. Something genuinely that makes Pisces happy. Not something that you will tolerate, not something that you will accept, not something that you will be grateful for just, because you are. But something you really want. And the path there has everything to do with sacrifice and accepting that which is very unfair and very painful to you, but accepting it with such grace. And instead of enacting some sort of vengeance or anger, moving forward. And that being the best way to win. And then the outcome cards, the High Priestess and the Knight of Swords. So Major Arcana for an outcome card is always good. High Priestess being the outcome card is even better because you already possess this energy. You already are totally tuned in. and quite capable of both manifestation, but also capable of very deep feeling. And that's what this represents, someone who is so deep in their feelings that they appear to be recessed from the world. And this level of connectivity to feeling takes us from being a player in the game to playing the game. See, a character in the game, player. So it's about stepping out of that maelstrom, of that horrible storm that is the collective psyche right now. It's about stepping out of that connectivity for your own sake, but also for our sake, so you can come up with a way through your insight only that can help us. And then to communicate that through your Gemini side, which is what I was saying makes you so savage. And here is that Gemini savage showing up. Now, if this is a partner, an air sign partner that's showing up, and that is the cause of all this heartache, then it is very obvious here that what you need to do is ice that person out, because they are really, really destructive, and you need to walk away from them. Now, that walking away may result in them coming right back. So walking away is always the right thing to do if you are not being treated well. If that person is going to come to their senses and come back around, they were always going to do that. If they weren't, you staying isn't going to make them all of a sudden have more integrity or more respect for you. It doesn't work that way. In the extended, we'll take a look at the Ace of Pentacles, the Devil, the Fool, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Swords. All right, Pisces, I love you. Good reading. I feel for you guys that you're going to do really well with it. It's painful, but let's see what comes up here with the Aries and the Capricorn and the Fool card. I can't really. Oh my God. Okay, we'll look at it. Okay, you know what? I can't. All right, I love you guys. I will see you in the extended, and I'll see you in June. Bye, Pisces. The extended links and all the links, the New York Times link, all the links will be below.